Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I am going to talk about how I scored a near perfect score on the reading section of the TOEFL exam, what resources, strategies and materials I used to prepare for it in a few days' time and everything around it. So let's dive right in. The passages in the TOEFL reading section is very different from the ones that we receive on the GRE verbal ability. The length is pretty big, about 6 to 700 words in length. However, the type and difficulty of questions on the TOEFL exam is way more easier than what we get on the GRE, making this particular section quite easy in scoring. On the TOEFL exam, we are under constant time crunch, and in order to solve the questions correctly within the stipulated time, we need to follow some strategy and some pattern. So let's talk about that. Point number one, we need to skim through the entire passage. The moment when the reading passage starts on the exam, we need to skim through the entire passage, focusing primarily on the last 2 to 3 lines of every paragraph. This will help us to find the main idea of every paragraph at the surface level, and we can connect the dots to understand the message of the entire passage. At this particular point, we do not uh, worry about the intricate details of the paragraph. We neither take notes nor memorize any details. This is just to understand the gist of what the passage is talking about. Point number two, active reading. Now, this point is actually a requirement of the first point. While we are reading any paragraph, any line, any question during the entire reading passage or the reading section, we have to read and infer the underlying message simultaneously. Blankly reading the statement or blankly reading the question and then again rereading it to understand it better is a complete waste of time, and this should be avoided. We need to inculcate a habit of reading actively, like understanding the message of the statement on the go. Once we are done with skimming the entire passage, we have to jump immediately to the questions. The questions are in order of the passages. And point number two is that when the questions come on the screen, it is divided into two parts. On the right, you have the questions, and on the left, you have that particular paragraph from where the question has been asked. So now this is the point where you will have to go back to that particular paragraph on showing on the left, read it carefully, understand what the question is asking, and then extract the intricate details from the paragraph to answer the question correctly. There are about 7 to 8 different types of questions asked on the TOEFL reading section. I will put the link of the official website where you can go and see which type of questions, what requirements they have. Let's try to fit this strategy in the stipulated time and pattern of the exam. So we have 35 minutes given and we have 4 passages. So if we divide it, we get approximately 8 minutes and 45 seconds for every passage. Every passage has approximately 5 to 6 questions. So let's devote 2 minutes on reading or skimming through the passage. We have to or we should answer every question in less than a minute or a minute maximum. Why I'm saying this is because questions, factual questions, vocabulary questions, inference questions. So these questions are quite simple, very literal, and they are directly from the paragraph. On the other hand, questions like prose summary. So this question requires us to understand the gist of the entire passage, and the answer might be at different parts of the passage, which might take us 1 to 2 minutes to find and answer it correctly. So the average of the time taken to answer all the 6 questions I'm taking as 1. So after 8 minutes have passed, we are left with 45 seconds. So this buffer time should be there. During the exams, things might go up and down, and we don't want to put ourselves in a very tight situation. So we have to inculcate the habit of solving the passages in about 8 minutes. While we solve the questions, while we solve the practice mocks and the sample mocks, we have to go through and see what mistakes we have made and learn from those mistakes. So this was the strategy all in all which I had followed. Now let's talk about the resources. So the only book that I referred was the official TOEFL IBT guide, and I had solved the questions, practice mock papers and all the sample questions there. I had also used the online platform GregMat, about which I've already spoken in my previous video. You can check that out. I will link it somewhere. And apart from this, I relied on one YouTube channel, TST Prep. So I solved several example questions, mock papers, sample papers there. I had given a few exams. So I had given the official TOEFL IBT mock papers, which I had purchased on the TOEFL website itself while I was booking the exam. This is what primarily was the resources strategy which I used. If I have missed anything, please do let me know in the comments below. If you have any questions regarding the reading section or any other section or TOEFL as such, please feel free to drop those in the comments also. And yeah, till then, see you.